amazing viewers and subscribers, and welcome to a brand new Doctor Who epic review that I'm doing for today. So this review is on a Doctor Who story that is just literally one of the best stories out of everything, out of all of everything. This is definitely the top 10 Tom Baker stories. It's the top 10 classic Doctor Who stories. It's even in the top 100 episodes of Doctor Who, in my opinion. And this, of course, is Doctor Who Genesis of the Daleks, which was actually broadcast from the 8th of March to the 12th of April 1975, starring Tom Baker, Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith, and Harry Sullivan. Now, if you want to watch Doctor Who Genesis of the Daleks, it is available on the Doctor Who Target novel book. There is 2 releases on VHS. One is released with the Santorum Experiment, and then, of course, it was released later on in the Davros collection. On DVD, you get it here on this DVD release, or you can, if you're very lucky, you can actually get it in Doctor Who the DVD file effects, which I got here. See, the 4th Doctor story, and of course, I've got it in Doctor Who the Collection Season 12 Blu-ray, which at the moment I've actually just finished rewatching. So, Genesis of the Daleks, it is just a brilliant story. Before I get to like the whole story plot, what's going on and stuff, so I'm going to talk about some of the cast. So, of course, we've got the Doctor, played by the great Tom Baker. We have Sarah Jane Smith, played by Elizabeth Sladen. We have Ian Marter, who plays Harry Sullivan. We have Michael Wisher, who plays the very first, basically is the very first actor to play the role of Davros, the creator of the Daleks. So, what can I say? What's so good about this story that most people have probably watched, and if you want to get into classic Who, and I do highly recommend this story, it's just superb. I mean, I think I recommended this to my best friend Jamie Arrowsmith, and he bought Doctor Who the Collection Season 12 on Blu-ray, and he absolutely loves it. So, what can I say about this story? So, I'm going to talk a bit about the plot, what I enjoy from it, and how I rate it. So, of course, the plot, the Doctor is sent to Gallifrey by a mission by the Time Lords after they kind of intercepted him, Harry, and Sarah in the middle of a transmat beam from the previous story, when they're literally going back up to the Nerva, the space station Nerva, which basically just lead on to the next story in season 12, but that'll be another review. So anyway, the Time Lords interfere and they send the Doctor back to this point on Skaro so he can try and interfere in the creation of the Daleks, or even try to make them more into nicer beings, because the Time Lords at this point have seen a whole matter of the future where the Daleks are the superior beings of the entire universe, and the Time Lords don't want that. So I really think this is where the Time War basically starts, by the Time Lords basically sending the 4th Doctor back in time to their actual creation. So we are on the planet Skaro, where we've got the Khaleds and the Fowls basically having in the middle of a thousand year war. So we kind of got a mixed texture of these. We've got people wearing gas masks and zombie like gorilla outfits and stuff, and of course they're using future technology, and then they're literally going back. So if they keep going backwards at this point, they would actually be using bows and arrows. So we got one dome of where the Fowls is, and then of course we've got the Khaled dome, where basically after exploring and walking through a bit of a minefield, and the Doctor gets blown up until Harry saves the day and saves the Doctor's life. So when they get to the Fowls, like trench sort of thing, and literally to basically look like the trench is manually filled, they basically popped up their dead comrades up against the wall to make it look like the Fowls dome is actually proper protected. So anyway, the Doctor and Harry, after a little bit of a gas bomb and Sarah Jones knocked out, and the Fowls basically run away with a Khaled, basically who does return later on in the story, the Doctor and of course Harry is basically taken in by the Khaleds as prisoners. And of course, the Doctor being the Doctor, they tell him to empty his pockets, and he just empties a whole load of gadgets. And it's really good the way the Doctor literally just there puts his hands in his pockets, and he literally there puts it on the table, a bag of jelly babies, his screwdriver. Honestly, I just absolutely really love this scene. And the way the Doctor literally takes the gun out of the Foul guards, and then General Nida, who is Davros's number 1, basically interferes, like the Doctor and Harry do get away, and he goes, "A Foul guard taken away by some mutos? How disrespectful is that?" Now, in the meanwhile, where Sarah Jane basically ends up being chased by a mutant because of this war, there's mutants. And when she comes across this kind of dome thing, we are absolutely introduced to Davros for the first time. And of course, he's just there putting the Dalek in. And he goes, now, the weaponry. And of course, he flicks the light switch. A light shines on the Dalek, and Sarah Jane's just there going, and then that's where they get to the cliffhanger. I absolutely do like the way how Sarah Jane gets captured by the Fowls and to try and build their own rocket so they can actually try and blow up the Khaled's dome. Which later on, Davros basically betrays them and gives us the whole point saying all that. Tom Baker does get his whole line after basically finding a whole secret like laboratory where Davros is basically mutating the Khaleds into Dalek mutants. And of course, not one Dalek was actually made in this one. We do see a kind of army of them at the end of the story. And they do actually exterminate Davros at that point. My favourite scene is in the end, is when Davros is there telling the Doctor, and the Doctor goes, I can't do that. Davros, I will be trained the whole future. I can't do that. And Davros goes, you can. You will tell me. And the way Davros is there literally gloating at the Doctor saying, you will tell me, you will tell me. And then you get that cliffhanger that, meow. I really love that cliffhanger to part 3. I love the fact when the Doctor and Harry's literally escaping to try and get to the Khaled people, that's literally the main government. They go through these big, massive, giant animals that Davros basically experimented on first before he actually experimented on the Khaled to turn them into Daleks. Yeah, this is how the Daleks basically come out, because you actually you don't see them become like mutated and stuff. That is later on in like in stories like in Resurrection of the Daleks with Colin Baker, or like we do see in other stories in Modern Who as well. I have to admit, this story is really, really dark for the 4th Doctor, because he literally gives us that favourite line, says, just touch these 2 wires together and the Daleks are finished. Do I have the right? And of course, that line, we do kind of see that in the which is familiar in series 9, where the Davros and the Doctor kind of they're talking about this whole meeting and stuff. I do love the way how the Daleks portray Davros, and Davros is there begging him, no, you must let the Khaleds survive. These scientists will help you. We do not obey. We are the superior beings. And the way they exterminate all the Fowls, and Davros is there literally about to press the button to deactivate all the Daleks, and they shoot him on the spot, and he's there screaming and going, ah! And even they do kill Nyder. Even the Doctor basically does fail the Time Lords by basically not destroying the Daleks completely or making them develop into nicer creatures. The Doctor basically delays them for 1,000 years. As the Dalek says, we have been delayed, not defeated. When the time is right, we will take our rightful place as the supreme bowing beings of the universe. And I love the way how the 4th Doctor gets hold of the time ring with Harry and Sarah, and they go back off to the next mission. So that's a bit of the plot of Genesis of the Daleks. And you can tell I'm really so pumped about this story. So, what are my thoughts about Genesis of the Daleks? Well, this is the best Dalek story after... Well, to be honest with you, after rewatching it, I have to say it's probably the best story. And then Remembrance of the Daleks follows on after this story, because I really do like Remembrance and I really do like this story. It's definitely in the top 2 Dalek stories. For Tom Baker, it's definitely in the top 1. I honestly just love it, because I love how the Doctor's got to be there on a mission for the Time Lords. He's got to do this. And of course, he basically does fail the Time Lords by Buddy Mix and delayed for 1,000 years. Unfortunately, if the Doctor did destroy the Daleks, it would have perfected the Time War and Gallifreyan going to war with the Daleks and, you know, and all this stuff that happens in Modern Who. I have to admit, this story is brilliant. I did love the fact that it was called back in Journey 7 when Davros sees Sarah Jane and he goes, oh, that was it. You were there on Skara at the very course of my beginning. I really do like how Davros and Sarah Jane kind of have that conversation, and it is a callback to this story. Even in the Russell T Davies era, he was throwing callbacks to Classic Who. Honestly, I just really love this story. It's brilliant. Tom Baker's amazing in it. It's fantastic. I just cannot get enough story out of Genesis of the Daleks. So, let me know in the comments, what do you think of... Oh, hang on, before I get to that part, I forgot to rate it. So for me to rate this story, it's a 10 out of 10. Bang on 10 out of 10. It is amazing. It's epic. If anybody tells you any different about the story, do not believe them, because they are just pudding brain morons, as the 12th Doctor would say. So let me know in the comments, what do you think of Doctor Who, Genesis of the Daleks? Is it one of your favourite stories? Is it not one of your favourite stories? Let me know in the comments. Please do like, subscribe and share, and join me for more awesome Doctor Who content. And have a great day tomorrow. And also, if I don't see you on Friday, have a great week, and then possibly join me for Saturday for when I do my next episode of ranking every single series and season of Doctor Who from 1963 to 2022. So thank you for watching, and have a great day.